5 affordable fragrances that smell super expensive. I know in today's day and age, we are all on a severely tight budget. We don't have tons of disposable income, myself included. I know we want to save money whenever we can. All 5 of these fragrances are actually modeled after more popular and severely more expensive niche fragrances. I'm excited to share this list with you in just a little while, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 5 inexpensive alternatives that smell super expensive, all of these are really expensive smelling perfumes, I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So with that being said, all of these fragrances are really rich and expensive smelling. They are complex DNAs for the most part, I think with the exception of one of them, but all of these will smell very close, almost identical to the original after which they're modeled. And so check these out, especially if you're in the business of saving money. I think all of these are really wise choices and fantastic alternatives. The first one that I want to talk about is one that I've spoken about before, and it's the brand new fragrance by Paris Corner, and it's called Marshmallow Blush. Now, this is the brand's take on Yum Bougie Marshmallow by Kadl. And yeah, this is a very warm, fluffy, decadent, whipped cream, marshmallow, vanilla, strawberry, coconut type of a fragrance. There's this sugar accord in here as well. It's a very sweet fragrance. Now, I do find the Kadl fragrance to be a bit more fluffy, a bit more diffusive. This one is a bit more compressed smelling and it becomes sweet right away, right? Whereas with the Kadl, there's a bit of an evolution, but this one, if you're looking for an inexpensive alternative, and I know a lot of people really like the bottle. Some people say it's kitschy, and for me personally, I don't love it or hate it, but I know it's the juice inside that counts. And so just check this one out if you have the opportunity to do so. This is a wonderful alternative to the Kadl counterpart, especially if you don't have that type of money to be able to afford niche perfumes. And you know, Kadl is niche despite the fact that it's available at Sephora because it's a brand that specializes in only fragrances. We also have another one, and if you're a fan of leather, you have to try this one. So this one is actually modeled after a Penhaligon's fragrance, which is Halfeti. And this one is called Rayhaan Tiger Cologne Edition. Cologne is a content creator, and he is the one who put his name on this fragrance. And this one is basically a longer lasting version of Halfeti in my experience. I know Halfeti is an amazing fragrance. You have the saffron in here, and it's the saffron that's used in the synthesis of a leather accord, but this is such a phenomenal take on that DNA. And again, it is super similar to the original. 100% identical, I don't know, because it does open up a bit richer, and I would say a bit more concentrated. And so again, it's not going to be as diffusive as the original, but as far as the olfactive profile is concerned, you smell it in the air. As far as I'm concerned, it's 100% similar to the original. It smells amazing. Longevity is superb. Rayhaan Tiger Cologne Edition. This one is a great take on Halfeti by Penhaligon's. This one is great for formal scenarios. This is a bit more playful, youthful, fun. Some people might consider it to be more of a novelty scent, and this is of course fantastic for a younger demographic. This one is a bit more dressed up, a bit more masculine leaning, but hey, if you're a lady who loves the smell of leather, you want something very mysterious smelling, check this one out. There's other spices in here as well, but it's such a beautiful fragrance. We also have this take on a fragrance that is marketed for the gentleman. So this one is not unisex as far as what the brand says, but you know, a lot of people's philosophy is that all fragrances are unisex, right? I totally get it. This one by Inos, I know the bottle looks like a Xerjoff. This one by Inos is called Royal Noir Absolute. So this is actually the brand's take on Absolute Aventus by Creed. I had the bottle up here. I took it down because I'm going to be featuring it in a list that I'm going to shoot soon. But this fragrance has that spicy cardamom, nutmeg, pineapple, fresh, fruity, citrusy, bergamot type of a vibe. If you're familiar with Absolute Aventus, you're going to get The same thing here. The smell is almost identical, and unfortunately the performance is identical as well. This one does last a fairly long amount of time, and I actually get really good longevity from Absolute Aventus too. It's just that there are some other fragrances from the Creed brand like Spice and Wood, Royal Oud, those fragrances, and also Centaurus and Delphinus. Those are some of the longest lasting fragrances from the Creed brand. This one is actually average as far as the longevity goes. But again, considering the price tag, this is such an amazing alternative to Creed Absolute Aventus. And so if you're looking to save a ton of money, because we know Absolute Aventus is like what, $500, you're going to save a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, with the Inos counterpart. So speaking of Creed, let's keep the Creed train going. And this one is another one by the brand Rayhaan, and this one is called Crimson. And of course, with a bottle presentation like this one, yeah, so this one smells like Creed's Centaurus, not Delphinus, but Centaurus. So this is a spicy, cinnamony, amber fragrance. Perfect for the fall and winter. This is a cold weather fragrance. Once the spring rolls around, especially on those warm days, I'm not going to be wearing this one at all. Summertime, forget about it. But this one right now, if you live in a cold climate, or if you like some of the darker, heavier, spicier offerings from the brand, you absolutely have to try Rayhaan Crimson. It's an amazing take on Creed Centaurus, and for just a fraction of the cost. You can look it up online and you'll see how cheap it actually is. In the #1 spot, this is one of the biggest hypes as of late. And it's a niche perfume that everybody seems to be talking about. And the sister brand also has one that has been a huge hype as of late. And when we're talking about Mancera, I know French Riviera has been getting a lot of play, and for good reason. I think it's a fantastic fragrance. But the other fragrance that is being hyped, especially among gourmand lovers, is Amore Cafe. And of course, it's a beautiful, warm, velvety vanilla coffee fragrance with some spicy tendencies, but it's this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gourmand. And of course, Mancera fragrances, especially with it being a niche brand, they're not incredibly expensive, but you do have some more affordable options on the market. And this one is just as long lasting as the Mancera counterpart. And so I think this is going to be a solid alternative for a lot of people. And this one from the brand Kadl is called Cafe Latte. And of course, yeah, this brand has been putting out a lot of fantastic alternatives. They also did one called Cream Velvet, which I own, and that's their take on Bianco Latte by Giardini di Toscana. This one basically came out at the same time. Cafe Latte, this is the brand's take on Amore Cafe, and it has the same exact vibe. If you're looking to have something with that DNA, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, you want fragrances that smell super expensive, these 5 fragrances are ones that I have worn a lot, and I can comfortably put my stamp of approval on them. Please check them out, and thank you so much for watching today. Hey, have you tried any of these, or have you tried the originals after which they're modeled? I would love to hear from you, so drop your comment down below. I always love the interaction. And of course, if you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It really goes a long way. You have no idea. So thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode.